Welcome to Money Matures, the place where we talk about all things money, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're here to just get better every single day. Got my friend here, Terrell, on. Excited to have you, my boy.
Man, how's it going, man? Good to be here. Thank you.
I'm excited. So me and Terrell are going to talk about a few different topics. And so most of it, not most of it, all of it related to money. So that's how we get down. So anyway, very excited to have you, my boy. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Man, my name's Terrell. I've known Mike for years. We've done many ventures together with other things, and it's just a blessing to be here to see his growth, and I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, man. Yeah, it makes my day. So let's get right into it. So knowing you as long as I have, I've known you to always be into something.
Gotta be
right, in a positive way. Always into something. So I guess my first question for you is, I know you run multiple businesses, and so what inspired you to do that?
Honestly, the biggest inspiration for me, for wanting to start businesses, was looking for financial freedom. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't work. I work, but I always took those advantages, looked at those as times to get some extra money to come in, to whether it be travel or to do things like that. So starting a business was more to build just for the future and have a little extra play money is how I started on.
Awesome. I like it. Having run multiple businesses for people, I know how hard it is, man. And so let me ask this. Was it easier than you thought or harder than you thought?
Definitely harder. Definitely harder. I went in thinking that you go in with the idea like, oh, this is something that's going to be easy. You know the industry that you're going into, so you think it's going to be something that's like automatically easy for you to do. And boy, was I completely wrong.
Yeah, I imagine that. I kind of asked that question because I can only imagine. Everybody thinks it's easy, but if you watch anybody who's ever ran a business or runs a business, like it's everybody wants to be the boss.
But I always want to be the boss, man,
but it's not always
the easiest. But then you think of all the things that come with it, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's a rough one. But we get through things, and that's the upside to it. You learn every business is a learning curve, and you get through it. Yeah, but that's what made me eventually start wanting to get into it.
Nice.
But now we talking about first, like, what was your first investment? What did you learn from it?
My first, aside from doing a company sponsored 401k or something, that would probably be my first. But the first where I actively invested or started investing was Apple. Apple years ago, and I still own Apple to this day. What I learned from it was don't let people talk you out of your money. because I've bought and sold Apple a few times over the years.
Yes.
And if I would have just held it, I'd have been in a way better position.
Okay.
And so you listen to all these people on the news and stuff, and they're like, oh my God, sell it. And it's like, and I used to let people sway me.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a beginning investor, it's inevitable. You're going to let people talk you out of your own plan. But that was the biggest thing is I should have just bought and hold. Because it's a company that's strong. When you invest in a strong company, that's a good company, that's done well for you, you gotta kind of ride out the lows and because the one thing I do know for sure is as long as I've been investing, I've never been able to time the top perfectly, and I've never been able to time the bottom perfectly.
Right. Okay.
And so you might as well just hold and buy the dips.
Okay.
So that's just my thoughts there.
That's what's up. Okay. Definitely a learning thing.
So we touched on this a little bit, but I want to get a little bit more specific on this one.
Okay.
What are one or two specific things that are the hardest part of running a business?
Number one, time.
Okay.
The time. I have a job. We have jobs also. So if you're running your business while you're working.
Okay.
So you have to still have the time. For instance, I have a logistics company.
Okay.
Where I own a cargo van.
Okay.
It's finding the loads for the cargo van, making sure that your driver is getting the loads, making sure that the loads are there on time. It's waking up early to bid on the loads to get it. So we only have 24 hours in the day.
And you're doing that. Wow.
And I'm doing that.
Doing your main 9 to, we'll call it a 9 to 5.
What, you're 9 to 5?
You're 9 to 5. So I know you grind, but we'll call it a 9 to 5.
Yes, yeah. So it's trying to mix everything together. So that's the number one thing, is trying to figure out the timing aspect of it. And then you're over the other people's livelihoods also. So just how my job is over my livelihood and making sure that I'm taken care of, I'm doing that for someone else also.
Got you.
So you have to ensure that they're taken care of, that they're compensated for their time.
Okay.
So doing the payrolls, making sure the hours match the pay, making sure taxes is another big thing.
People's money is important.
And that's it.
Our check ain't right.
The check ain't right. They're coming right back to do it. And do I have to do that? I have to hear is, well,
That ain't right.
there's no,
There was he's a calculus major when it comes to that paycheck.
oh yeah.
There's no on.
And there's no HR. So you to go and contact you. It's your phone ringing to say, hey,
But you want to make sure they're happy, right?
but that's it. You want to make sure that you keep your employees happy or your workers happy. That's the biggest thing. So time and the happiness of the employee is probably the two hardest things with running a business.
I'll tell you this much, man. I think it's inspiring to me to watch people do their own thing. I think that's what this channel is all about. I always tell people, man, invest in something, right? You're investing. You didn't buy Apple, you bought Terrell.
Right. Yes. 100%.
Good stock.
Yes.
It's a good stock. I know it's a good stock. If you ever do an IPO, I'm in. Let's get it. Okay.
Oh, we working.
So you're investing in Terrell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're investing in your company, right? That's an investment.
Yeah.
So that's what I want this channel to inspire. That's why I want to bring people on who do their own thing, because it's not about just, I had a friend on that does real estate. That's his that's his thing. That's his arena. He knows that's investing. That's his thing. That's not for me. I don't really know that world like he does. I don't know the logistics world at all. And so, but that's what I'm saying is I love watch people build for their future, because at the end of the day, the goal of investing is to eventually to not have to work your 9 to 5 anymore, to not have to work at all. Or if you are going to work, do whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want.
Something that's fun to you.
And so I think that, I watch a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people who try to do their own business, or some that have failed, some that have been successful. And that's usually the main goal. And, but I think the hard part people struggle with is finding that extra time for you.
That's it.
We give so much time to these companies. We don't give enough time to ourselves.
Yes, 100%.
And it's hard, but I think it'll pay for itself 10 times over once you build it.
But when you were talking about investing in, you said, yes, I'm investing in myself, but how do you choose what you invest in on how did you choose Apple or the other things that you invest in? How did you do those?
The first thing I do is I want to make sure it's in alignment with my overall plan, meaning I take a certain percentage of my portfolio that is all index, just because I think even if you're a person who invests in individual stocks, that's fine. But I think that you have to have, me personally, I believe you have to have a good amount of money in index funds, because it's just you can put it in there and you can forget it, right? And so where with a company, if stuff goes sour, I might like a company for 5-10 years, and if stuff, they get new, something changes and they're going out of they're starting, another company comes in and starts doing better than them and starts taking their profit share, I'm gonna want to get out of that company, where I'm not going to want to get out of my index. Okay. And so for me, I try to make sure it's in alignment, meaning I have a certain percentage of my portfolio that's all index. I have a certain percentage of my portfolio that's stock. I have a certain percentage of my portfolio that I call it's my play money, where I'll take some bigger risks.
Okay.
And then as I get closer to retirement, I am going to start getting into more bonds and stuff, because you do have to kind of level that out. But I just don't think I'm ready for that right now. So the first thing I do when I'm picking stocks is, one, does it fit my alignment? So like in stocks, I try to have the spread between like tech. I like consumer discretionary stocks, financials. There's a lot of different stocks, but those are kind of the three main ones that I focus on. So I like to keep my percentages even. So if one starts getting overweighted or heavier than the other one, then I'll start focusing on buying in that particular category, if it makes sense.
Okay.
Now, if there's buying opportunities in a stock that I'm in a sector that I'm already kind of heavy in, but it's a really good buying time, and it's a really, like, things are down really good and I could really benefit from it, I'm not going to let that sway me from not doing it. I'm just going to remember, like, okay, I got to level this out later.
Okay.
Right. And so for me, I'm a very conservative investor. I don't do a lot of, I'm not a day trader. I don't buy and sell every damn day. I don't do any of that. What I do is I pick good companies that I like and I keep them. And all I do is look for opportunities to buy more at a discount when I have it.
Okay.
So I try to keep money on the sidelines. So if there's a correction, which can be 10 to 20%, I want to have money ready.
You can jump on it at that.
So I don't really have to change my method. I don't really have to change my course. I'm just going to buy more of what I already have that's done well for me for a long time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I get it. Okay.
And then for me, I like to take a couple of some calculated risks, so I'll dedicate, I put like 5% of my portfolio that I'll risk in like riskier ventures, remember, high risk, high reward type stuff. Right?
Okay.
But I only do that with money that I'm 100% okay with setting fire to and losing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you take the power out of you take the emotion out of it. So if I take a risk, I'm thinking to myself, hey, I want to, this could potentially do X, Y, Z for me. If it doesn't, this is what I ask myself. If I lose this money, is it going to make me want to jump off a building?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And if it's like, no, it's whatever.
If I want to do that. So yeah,
bro, I lost this much last week. So like, what is it? What is it? So that's my biggest thing is I try to stay within my plan. I don't do a lot of buying and selling and trading. I have my companies that I like and I just keep feeding them.
Okay. That's perfect. That sounds good. That's actually smart. Cause again, the person that doesn't know much about it. So it's like, okay, where's a starting point? What's a good starting point for me to start investing?
Yeah.
To start building some stocks and stuff like that. So
no, it is. It's a lot of fun too, but the hardest part for people too is you mentioned your 9 to 5. We all working, right? I don't have time to sit in front of the computer and like babysit it, right? So I just try to stay on top of the companies and make sure the fundamentals are still the same and that nothing's really drastically changed. If something starts changing, then I might start looking into maybe I need to do something, and if I need to, I'm not emotional about it. I'll cut a company off quick as hell if necessary. But the whole point is I want to. There's a reason why I do the way I do it, because I don't have time to track everything every single day. And so I want to make sure that once I make the trade, it's a long-term thing for me. So I don't care if I time it wrong and I buy a little high.
Right.
It's not going to be in the world for me because I know
you're looking at it.
Not selling
long term. It's long term hold.
Yeah. I'm not going to sell it next week anyway. So, okay. So I took a little L. You don't lose money until you sell the stock.
Right.
So if the stock goes down 10% and I timed it wrong, okay, I've done it. I made a mistake.
Okay.
Fuck it. Let's move it. And I just move, I just let it roll.
That's it.
It always bounces back. I mean, typical.
Oh.
All right. Well, let me ask this question. We asked what the hardest part about running your own business was. What's your favorite part about it?
Freedom. Okay. Yes, I work, but that gives me, running my own business gives me the freedom to go and do things that I want to do, whether it's traveling, whether it's my necessity to buy shoes.
Yeah, I know that.
If it's whatever, buying stuff. But again, it all goes back to that whole thing of being a consumer, I guess, because I use that to buy things or to do things. So
Okay.
I'm trying to get now, like since watching your channel, like I'm trying to get more into the mindset of like using that extra money instead of buying and being a consumer into like moving it around and placing it in places that are a little bit more beneficial, I guess. But definitely the freedom that I see like in the future, like that it could bring, like running my own business.
I love it. And it's and that's the part I think that everybody should take from this is the everything's hard at the beginning. The point is for it to get easier later, right? And you mentioned how, hey, it's hard because I have to do my 9 to 5 plus I got to do this. So you don't have a ton of freedom right now, I imagine, right? You got added cash.
That extra cash.
Yeah. Cash is freedom.
Yes.
But you don't have a ton of freedom right now.
No.
But you need to be your goal. Your goal is to have that freedom later.
Yeah.
To build it. And so the same thing with stocks, and this is what I'll encourage you to do. I do it for the same reason. I invest money for the same reason. I want freedom too. So you can use that extra cash to build your portfolio, and then you'll have 3 businesses, or I don't know how all the business you have, but you'll have at least 3. You'll have the one you're working, you'll have the one you started, and then your money will be making money for you.
And that's where I'm trying to get to right there.
And now you got imagine, bro, because it's a powerful thing once you start seeing your money making money for you.
And that's what I was like, we were talking, I know offline, but it was like first like buying like VOO or like buying in, like opening up my Vanguard account. Like that was just something like just on a whim, like, oh, let me try it. I mean, I don't know nothing about it, but it's just watching your videos, like, let me just try it. Let me get in and see what it's about. Like,
I love it.
Because
I love it. I didn't know that's the goal, man. So what did you, when you opened your account, because let me ask you this question. The first step is the hardest step, I think. And just opening the account and making your first purchase is the hardest thing.
100.
Because once you do it and you start making money, it's going to get real easy for you.
That was the
you're going to be wanting to. So what was it that made you like, I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now because I know you're busy. I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now. I'm going to download this app. I'm going to put money in VOO. What made you do that?
Just hearing, like, wanting to learn. Like, it was, I'm a hustler. So it was like more of the unknown.
Yeah.
I think when I opened it up, it may have been like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Like, so like, I'm just, all right, I seen something, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to just do it right now. Why wait? And then let's see what it can do. Everyone is saying that the money is working for them, but let me see it from my own 2 eyes that this happens. People can say it a million times, but until you actually see it for yourself, that, oh, you invested this much money and it's just been a short period of time and it's gone up, and I haven't put like much more into it, but it's starting to go up. It's good. Everybody likes to sports bet and all that, but you're going for the quick reward, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. So freedom was the goal, which I get it. I think we both have the same goal. Freedom. I think I look at money making its own money as freedom as well. Any other things that are, what's your second favorite thing about running a business?
It's I guess a thrill. I look at it as, like I said before, like I'm just a hustler. So like it's a thrill for me to see an idea like come to fruition. It's more thrill. It's
got to be gratifying.
That's it. And that's it. It's just something that you sit back and you're thinking and you're like, all right, you know what? This is the first step to it. Now, once that first step goes, you're like, oh, I could do this. Let me buy the name, the trade name for it. So it's just the processes of going through it. I think I enjoy.
I like it. That's brilliant, bro. Because I think I'm wired the same way, man. And I think you have to be. I think a successful business owner, anybody who's going to be successful in anything, I think you have to love the process.
Mm-hmm. And that's because
otherwise you won't start.
No, it's not.
Like, if you're not willing to go through the build, it's not gonna work.
And
so you gotta love that shit.
You have to love it, and you have to be listen, there's going to be the highs of highs. There's going to be some lows of low. So you have to be strong enough to make it through those.
Same with stocks.
That's it. Exactly.
Everything is in sync.
That's it. And that's it. I've heard a lot of people talking about emergency funds. What are some steps that a person should take to set up an emergency fund, and why is that important?
Well, to me, I think an emergency fund is essential because if you go directly to investing, and people can do this, but most people, if they go directly to investing and they don't have any an emergency fund set aside, then what they're going to end up doing is using their investments as an emergency fund. And that's bad because the way to make money in the stock market, the way to make money in the stock market is for it to be in there for a time period.
Okay.
And especially if you're in index funds, it needs a long time to grow, like years.
Okay.
Right. So investing is not a get rich quick thing. This is a disciplined, patient. Once you invest, you got to let that go. The problem is if you don't have an emergency fund and you have an emergency, what are you going to do?
Where do you get the funds from?
You're going to take that money out. You're going to take that money you just put into VU that just made you probably 10% this year, and you're going to take it out. And the power of investing is the compounding.
Okay.
Okay. But if I keep taking that out, I'm losing that compounding. And the power of investing is the compounding, being in there for a long period of time, which is why I don't do a lot of buying and selling, or a lot of selling. I do a lot of buying.
Okay.
So for a emergency fund, I always recommend people set 3 to 6 months of their actual bills. So do your calculation. I talk about budgets all the time.
Yes.
Do your calculations. Let's say your total budget is $5,000 a month. And that pays your mortgage, that pays your gas, that pays your electric, your lights, your electric and lights are the same thing, but your car, whatever.
Yes.
So now you need 15 or 30. I'm okay with 3, but it just depends on the comfort level of the person, right? So now, once you got that built up, and then you start investing the rest, now if something happens, because life's gonna happen, right?
Gonna life.
So when something happens, you're gonna be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take that from my emergency fund, and now I'm gonna rebuild my emergency fund, and then I'm gonna get back to investing. All the while, your money kept making money.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, to not have a emergency fund, unless I won't even say unless, to not have an emergency fund and put yourself in a position where you may have to sell stocks in case of an emergency is hustling backwards.
Yes.
Right. I don't want people to do that, because what's going to happen is you're going to get discouraged, and you're going to be like, investing doesn't work. No, investing how you did it doesn't work.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Investing the way you did it doesn't work.
Right.
Investing works.
I
promise you. But that's why I stress the importance of an emergency fund so much.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it. 100%. I see.
So you kind of answered this question, but let's elaborate. Let me reframe the question that I was thinking about asking. Because you talked about freedom and you talked about this. When you set out the goal to start your own company, was that the initial goal? Was freedom and all of that the initial goal from the very beginning?
Yeah, and building something for the kids. You know what I mean? Like, we have kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So dope kids love them.
Yeah.
And so it's more about starting a business is more about building for their success. It's not, yes, I want to enjoy the freedom now, but it's more building like long-term for them. So
something you could pass on to them?
Something I can either pass on to them that they can learn. Obviously, it's something they can start working for me at an earlier age, like
hell yeah,
working and like seeing how business goes, and the structure of business for them, and just something that I can leave them so the kids have something. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we hustle for. I mean, is obviously for a little bit of freedom for us, but we want to make sure that our kids are good.
No, I love that, man. Again, Ditto, bro. We doing the same thing. We're breaking cycles, you know, as far as I'm concerned. I think that for me, I wasn't good with money for a very long time. And what inspired me to change once I finally changed was the backbone of it was like, yo, I got to do better for my kid, man. I got to make sure, because I don't want my kid to ever feel the pressure on his chest that I felt.
That's it, of always have the what is. How is this going to get paid? How is this going to get handled? Like, you don't want them. I remember like before I had my son, before Jaden was born, like my thing is I never want him to know what the struggle is or have to feel what the struggle. I don't want him to feel the struggle.
I might be hurting, but I can't let.
But you can't let them see.
I respect that.
So that was one of the things that like I just prided myself on, is like doing whatever if it's working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever it is, to make sure that they good.
Yeah.
That's
my back hurts, but my son gonna be all right.
That's it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that 100%. And they shouldn't feel it. But I think we have a responsibility. I think what you're also doing, which I'm sure you're aware, but you know, just to give you some kudos, is you're leading by example, and a young man or a young woman watching that is going to learn something from
exactly.
And maybe they don't necessarily want to run the business you created, or maybe they do.
But it gives them the
inspiration. The thought will be like, yo, look what my dad did. My dad did his own thing. I can do my own thing.
Exactly. No matter what it is.
However I love that.
That's a big thing. So that's honestly like the biggest accomplishment, is just making sure like to see the kids happy and all that. That's like the biggest accomplishment.
What do you say to yourself? What do you say to yourself when you're going through it and it's just, you know, you feel like you're burning the candle from both ends because you're just, you know, time is just a problem. What do you say to yourself to keep yourself moving?
It's just, I mean, my biggest motto is nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. So that's my motto.
Again,
nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. So yes, I'm burning my candle at both ends, but this is what I'm doing it because that's what I dreamed of. So
I love it when people use wordplay.
It
comes to a sleeper but a dream. That's stolen. I'm gonna put that right here.
You got it.
Well, I'll put your little right there. The quotation. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Okay. That's been my motto for a long time, and that's just what I live by. So yes, I'll work tirelessly, because if I'm sleeping,
I like it.
Nothing's happening. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
What got you into investing though, Mike? Because I mean, listen, bro, I've known you for years. Okay. We like shopping.
Oh yeah.
We love to shop. We love shoes. You know, I buy a car, I'm pulling up to show you, my boy.
I was good. I told you. I'm glad you brought that up. I told Tony about that on one of my other podcasts. I don't know if you saw that, but I told him how we used to, like, if I got a bite, when I got my 636,
come on,
I was at your house. Like, that's it.
Immediately.
Hey, when you get yours, you come over, and when I got a new whip, you come over with your new whip. And we would, and I was telling him this in the sense that wasn't good for us to do, but we motivated each other. But let's use those same motivations differently. But
that's it.
But yeah, we used to, man, about first place I'm going, where's Terrell? Terrell, where you at?
Call it, bro.
And he wouldn't even, and you would already know where I was coming from. You already know, like, you pull it, bring it on through.
Come on.
Bring it on through.
Man.
Bring it on through.
I remember the days, bro. It was just like,
I love it. And what we need to do is we need to do that. We need to keep that same energy, but be like, hey, what stock you buying?
Yeah.
Or, hey, what business did you start?
See,
or you know what I mean? Like, teach me the new business you started. Let's make something. I'll teach you the new thing I didn't do. Yeah. But what got me into investing was the understanding that I didn't want to work forever. Like, I know so many people who don't have an exit strategy. And it breaks my heart. And I was one of those people, for the record. And what I mean by an exit strategy is, like, you ask people, like, when do you want to retire? I don't know. What, I mean, I know people who do physical labor.
Yeah.
Like, when is your body not going to be able to do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or when are you just going to want to do for you and not have to punch a clock, right? So I realized through pain and heartache, actually, because I got myself in a lot of debt years back, and I've always made good money. You know me, I've always made good money, but I always spent all of it.
We made 3,000.
All of it.
We made 3,000. We spending 3,000.
I'm spending 3,500 probably. But there, I'll get that other 500 next week. And what I learned was I had to realize that my spending, my ability to earn was not the problem. My desire to spend was the problem.
Okay.
And so I always tell people this, like, if you make $50,000 a year, or you make $1 million a year, if you spend it all, you still broke.
That's it.
If you make $1 million, you're just fancy broke.
You're a broke millionaire.
But you still got that same feeling in your chest that the guy that only makes 50,000 does. That feeling in your chest don't change.
Yeah.
And so it's stress. It's the pressure. It's on your shoulders. It's everywhere. And so I went through all of that, and I realized that if I ever want to be in control, I've got to control myself, and I've got to control my spending, which I still fight those demons to this day.
Man, they are demons.
I have to, a book I recommend on my channel that I always tell people to read is Your Money, Your Brain. And it kind of talks to you about why we're wired the way we are to spend.
Okay.
It goes back to when we were cavemen, you know, and we were hunting for our next meal. And it's literally in our DNA to hunt. The difference is what we hunt for has changed.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we hunt for shoes, for clothes, for cars, for toys, for
that instant gratification. That's it. We want the instant gratification for what we bought.
And it gives us such a rush. But the craziest part about it, and the crazy thing the book taught me, that once you get it, it's never feels as good as you had it built in your head.
Can you say for the people?
Bro, I'm telling you,
please.
Next time you buy something, think about, okay, you're online, you're like, ooh, those are fire. I'm grabbing those. Boom, boom, boom. I'm excited. Purchase done. Now I'm like, ooh, I can't wait for it to be at the door. It's coming to my door. I'm gonna have it in 2 days. And then you get it. And it's like, bro, it's so crazy.
It's not, though. It's true.
But it's true. But nobody. And then once you do that, so this is how I get myself to spend less. That book was the greatest thing, one of the best things that ever happened. Well, it's good and it's bad, because now I like beat myself up over the shit now. Now when I make a purchase, I have buyer's guilt.
Right.
And it could be something simple that I can easily afford, but I'll be like, fucking idiot, what are you doing?
Why would you buy that?
So now what I do is I go through the purchase in my head. If I'm going to buy something that I know I don't need, because I know I don't need it, but I got to talk myself out of it.
You got to talk yourself.
So I'll literally say, okay, when I buy this, I'm excited now. I'm going to be excited on the drive when I'm watching it being tracked day by day to the house from FedEx. And then when I get it, I'm just going to put it somewhere, and I probably won't touch it again for 2 weeks, or I may not touch it for a while.
Man,
I mean, I got shoes I still haven't even worn yet.
Listen, I was just about to say that shoes is a prime example. We're buying shoes in boxes.
It's stupid.
I literally have a pair of shoes that I have not worn one time. It's sitting in the box on the top shelf.
Yeah,
in the house.
This is my point. So, that's what I encourage people to do. Visualize what you're going to do with that product once you get it, and it'll talk you out of buying a lot of stuff.
Oh.
But again, the reason I got into investing was I knew that I needed to make my money work for me. I knew that I had heard about it. People have told me, everybody says invest. Nobody tells you how. So I got tired of waiting for people to tell me how, and I did it myself. I started reading books. I started watching videos. I started trial and error. I just started saving. I started stacking, and it became an obsession for me. And it still is an obsession for me. When I get paid, the first person I pay is me.
And okay.
The first person who gets paid is Michael.
Okay.
I put it right into my brokerage account. Everything else gets paid after that. But I've developed a habit where it's me, and I get excited about it. Like when the stock market takes a dip and everybody else is panicking, I'm like, let's go talk.
Yeah, let's buy some paper. Let's buy some more.
Apple's on sale.
That's it.
Apple's on sale.
No, they don't go on
iPhones are never on sale.
Never.
But Apple's on sale.
Right.
And I'm not saying go buy Apple right now necessarily. I'm just saying it's it's just I don't ever want to be that channel that tells you go buy here and sell here.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to do that because that's just reckless. But yeah, I'm buying companies that I like, and I'm buying them on the.
So yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, go through I guess looking at it now for myself is go through my daily, like the things I do on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that I'm doing on a daily basis, why not own a piece of it? I guess
that's another way you can. Skirt yourself from spending, or help yourself if you're going to spend.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend X, Y, Z, let's say you're going to spend $100 on a pair of Nikes, right? So I'm going to spend $100 on a pair of Nikes. So, well, okay, that's bullshit. They're $100. Let's see the price, right? The $300, really.
I don't know where you.
Okay, so let me. My apologies, but now do it like this. All right, when at the same time or before I make this purchase on this shoe or these sweats, which these are my favorite sweats anyway, before I make this purchase, I'm going to buy $300 in Nike stock.
There it is.
And then do that first and then buy the shoes. Because if you want the shoes that bad that you're going to spend $600 on them, because technically you spent $600 in that moment,
yes,
then hell.
And someone else actually told me that
that might be an investment for you.
Someone else told me that because again, like in my spare time, I like to dabble with a little sports betting here and there.
Yeah.
And
I get my ass kicked.
Yeah. But I like to dabble in it. But they told me if you're okay with losing that amount, you have to put that same amount into your brokerage account.
Yep.
So now, if you're gonna bet 100, but you can't put 100 in the brokerage, and it looks like you betting 50 because you got to put 50 and 50. And that right there has like resonated with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? That's absolutely correct.
I think that's a brilliant idea because it's so easy to get lost in the day to day. I mean, you can't walk out the house without spending $200 at this point.
No.
You know what I mean? So like, everything's so damn expensive. So for me, I think that if you can create habits like that either the goal is to either discourage you from doing that behavior, or if you want to do it that bad, that's cool. But at least do something for yourself while you're doing it.
Exactly.
Because and this is what I really wish people would change their frame of thinking. One of my biggest issues when I was coming up is I've always worked hard.
Yes.
I've always hustled. Every job I've ever had, I've promoted, I've done better and better. I've been one of the best. And I just have that in me. Like I believe God put you on the same earth as me with the same 2 legs, same 2 arms, same 10 feet, or 10 feet, same 10 fingers, same 10 toes. You ain't better than me and you ain't worse than me. So there's no way that you can outwork me.
That's it.
I mean, you can outwork me, but I have to choose to let you do that.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So whenever I went into a new thing, I knew that I may not be number 1 or number 2 today.
Oh, but that's what I'm shooting.
Well, I'm gonna get your ass.
I'm gonna get you.
Right?
I remember when we worked at T-Mobile. That was your hey.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm moving, and I climbed. I got everything I wanted from that.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring up all that is because, but the problem with that was I kept making more and more money, but I kept spending more and more money. And as we get raises, we're like, the first thing that pops into our head is, oh, I need a new whip.
Mm-hmm.
I need new this. I need new that. I need a bigger house. I need a bigger this. I have switched my mentality, and I wish everybody would, to like, we believe that we are doing for us by buying ourselves stuff or buying our kids stuff or buying this, buying that. What I want people to change their thinking is like, you deserve to have nice things, right? You do, but you also deserve to have freedom and have balance.
Yes.
You deserve to you deserve to treat yourself better from a financial aspect.
There it is.
But we don't look at it that way. We look at saving money and investing as almost like a punishment. I can't have the things I want. You mentioned instant gratification earlier, right? If we aren't instantly gratified, we don't feel like we're doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And stocks are not instant gratification.
No, it's a block.
Building a business is not instant gratification. You've got to realize that eventually, as you build it, whether it be a business, whether it be stocks, eventually your money is going to make money for you to buy the things you want.
Yes.
And that's the switch we got to make. That's the mental switch you got to make in your life to make sure that you don't have to work forever. Because, and again, back to the original question, what got me into investing? The real thing, the real nuts and bolts of it is I don't want to work forever. I mean,
that's it.
I don't.
And that's the reality of it.
And to the other point, you do your business so you can leave something to your family. I invest for the same reason. If something happens to me today, my family's not going to be stressed. I mean, yeah, they'll be stressed. They lost, I'm not here, but they're not going to be, I feel like it's the worst thing in the world when people lose somebody important to them, and then immediately, not only do they lose somebody important to them, but they're financially screwed.
Yeah. And that's
so you can't even grieve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to grieve, but you got to figure out how you're going to pay rent.
You got to grieve. You got to grieve and hustle at the same time, and it makes it worse.
Yeah, bro. I'd like my family to be like, if God forbid that ever happens, I would at least like them to be good.
Yeah. Well,
just be at least like, you shouldn't, like, I don't ever want my family. I don't ever want Lisa or Caden to have to ask somebody to help me. Like, they don't need to put their hand out for nobody.
Right.
I made sure of that. I made damn sure of that.
That's good.
So they don't need help. Give them a hug.
Give them a hug.
That's all they need. You understand what I'm saying?
That's reality. That's
the truth behind it. Anyway, so I'm going to ask you this question.
What you got for me?
What would you say to somebody out there that wants to start their own business? What encouragement or advice would you give to them? Because maybe they can't start, or maybe they're doing it and they're thinking about quitting because they're struggling a little bit.
Well, again, like we said, it's just like the stock market. Every business, every venture is going to have, nothing's going to go 100% how they want it to go.
Yeah.
There's some fear in it. Just fight that fear.
Okay.
And go, just continue to push forward. Yes, it may not be going the way that you want it to right now. Go out and talk to that one extra person.
Yeah.
Go out and make that one extra call, because at the end of the day, it's eventually going to come if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Once you put your mind to it, just don't be afraid, because fear is a killer of dreams. So, like, just push through that little piece of fear, that little wall of fear, bust through it.
I love it.
Bust through that wall and push through, and you will get to the goal that you want to get to. Set a small goal. So you, again, like you said with the investing earlier, set a small goal for yourself. Okay, I want to see this amount.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you get that amount, you got that small win.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can push to the next one.
Okay.
If it's getting a client, all right, you got your first client for whatever the business is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Be happy, celebrate that one, but now let's get two. Let's open the door to get 2 or 3 or 5.
I like it.
And that is where it is. A lot of people, they get discouraged because they're like, dang, I didn't make no money this week with my business.
Yeah.
There's going to be times like that.
Yeah.
It's the hard truth.
Yeah. That's what we need to hear.
I love it. There's weeks where my van is just sitting.
Man.
It's unfortunate, but you have to know the value in yourself. I'm not going to do something that's going to cost me money for my van to move.
Yeah. Makes sense. What would you say if, for someone just starting out, right? Or wants to start out, what would you say is a mistake you made that you would like them to, you could help them avoid?
Mistake I made. Not thinking out all the steps properly. Each business has a platform, like it has steps.
Okay.
Don't go to step 5.
Okay. Yep. I get you.
Normally step 1 is, if it's a business where you're going to have an employee, you want to make sure that come hell or high water, your employee is paid. So you have to have enough to cover payroll for 2 months.
Okay.
Because depending on what type of business this, say the business is a net 30 business where you're not getting paid for 30 days. Your worker is working for you for 30 days. They have to get their paycheck every week or every bi-weekly until your money can start rolling in. So you're not going to see that 30, 45 days.
Got you.
So going into the business, if it's one where you have to have employees, you have to make sure you have the steps and the payroll money in place to make sure. Handle your taxes.
It's funny you mentioned that because I'm literally posting something later today that's about taxes and how you pay them with dividend, how you pay tax on dividends, how you pay tax on capital gains and stuff. So that's funny you mentioned that. Taxes are very important.
Very important. Very number one thing. You don't want that problem.
You do not want that problem. And I imagine with businesses, it's a whole nother thing because you got your employees, you got you. I don't even know. I don't even want it. That gave me a headache right now. And that gave me a headache, and I don't even have the business.
Man, that's the number one thing like that.
I like
you see the income coming in, and you think that that's all yours, and you got to give Uncle Sam his, and at the end of the day. So
I get it.
What I got a question for you though.
Okay.
What are different perks to having a diverse portfolio? Because like, say we talk about Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Say I love Apple.
Okay.
I just want to invest all my money in Apple then because I like it. I know that everyone's going to buy it. They're always coming out with a new product. So what are some of the perks that being diversified in it?
Well, you shouldn't trust anybody that much because it's I mean, I hate to use the, I guess I don't hate to use it, but the whole keeping all your eggs in one basket, I know Kobe said you can make more eggs, but putting all your eggs in one basket, I think is reckless. I don't want to say no, it's reckless, man. And the perks of having a diversified portfolio is, especially if you're investing in like a tech stock, if you're all in on a tech stock, your ups and downs are going to be drastic.
Okay.
So where if you go all in on a consumer discretionary product or company, your growth is probably going to be consistent. It's not going to be crazy, but it's going to be consistent. And it's even going to have some ups and downs. But if you go all in on a tech stock, man, your volatility is going to be nuts. It's going to go, there's going to be days you're going to want to, it's going to suck.
Okay.
And so diversifying helps you with a few different ways. One, it helps your up and down swings minimize, because if tech is down really bad, because stocks move together, stocks of the same sector, just, I don't know the exact reason behind it, but stocks in the same sector, they move together. It's the weirdest thing. Separate companies, but when one goes down, the other goes down.
Okay.
So if you're heavily invested in one specific sector, I think that's going to be a little reckless, because again, if everything's down, you're going to struggle. And so for me, the perk of diversifying is it helps those swings be less. So when things are down, it's not as dramatic. And sometimes, one stock might be kicking your ass, but then another stock is doing really well. So
Okay.
I look at my brokerage account, I'm going to look at the overall money, right? And like if it's green, that's good. If it's red, that's bad, right? So if I'm diversified, those swings aren't going to be as dramatic.
Okay.
Which is why a lot of people, like you mentioned VU earlier. I love VU. It's one of my favorite indexes. The reason I like VU as opposed to, and there's a lot of different indexes you could do, but VU is your top 500. It's an S&P 500 index. It's an ETF, an exchange traded fund, which means you can trade it like a stock, and it doesn't have a minimum buy-in, because a lot of index funds, you got to have a minimum buy-in of 3,000, 10,000.
And that's what I started noticing that as like in my research, and I was like, oh, this one.
Yeah, you got to have, and I have some of those, but you got to literally, I had to save up to get the amount of money to buy in, right? And there's pros and cons to that, but the ETF you can buy, like you said, as little as a few $100, right? And this, so that's important. So when you're investing in an index fund, you're literally investing in 500 companies, the top 500 companies in the nation. So if one company all of a sudden starts, does something crazy, and all of a sudden their stock plummets, if I'm invested in that, my money's plummeting. Well, if they're in the index 500, the other 499 companies are going to keep me good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I think that everybody should have a good amount of money in index funds. And even if it's if you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have a lot of time to investigate companies and see whether or not you want to be fully invested in them or invested in them at all, then index is a great way to set it and forget it. Just buy it, and you're investing in the top 500 companies. And those companies are tech, they go over all the sectors. You can get index funds that are sector specific too, but then again, it's diverse, kinda, but you're still in the same sector. So if that sector drops, everything's dropping.
Okay.
So anyway, that's just my thoughts there. Diversifying is just going to make it less painful.
Okay.
Okay. Now the swings won't be as high, but they also won't be as low.
Okay.
And I think that when you're investing money, it's important to, everybody says everybody, when you start investing, people have all these tests you can take that are risk, what's the word I'm looking for? Risk assessment, right? Like what your risk tolerance is. So they tell you got to know what your risk tolerance is. Like if you lost $10,000 today, like if you put, $1,000 in and you lost 10% today, would you panic and sell? And the goal is you're trying to decide whether you need to know what you can handle. And the problem with that is you don't know until real money's on the line.
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, oh yeah, if I lost 10%, I'd be good. But when it's happening, you're really going to find out what's what. You're really going to find out what your tolerance is. Right. So diversifying will help you. Well, it'll be a lot less stressful, a lot less painful.
Understand. Well, I understand. Right? Man, I appreciate you, man. This is real.
Absolutely.
Definitely learned a lot of stuff today, man.
I did too.
Taught me.
And I hope everybody out there, guys, again, we're talking about this. Like I said, this channel is about getting money, whether it's whether it's investing in stocks, bonds, index funds, businesses, real estate. I don't care. I like to hear it. And I love to see it, because people making money and people building is inspiring to me. Watching you build businesses is inspiring to me. I may not know how to do what you do, but I sure as hell love watching you do it.
Man, appreciate that.
All right.
It's always love, man. Appreciate it.
Anyway. Well, I appreciate everybody for joining. Please make sure to like, comment, follow, subscribe, all of those things. And in the meantime, stop playing and start stacking.